How embarrassing is it? An Australian media outlet. The Sydney Morning Herald published a report alleging that Wapu Sonk, the managing director of Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited, was involved in a secretive contract deal that benefits himself. And here is the kicker. Mr. Sonk is also tied to the PNG NRL franchise, in which Australia had pledged over 2 billion kina to fund to enter the NRL by 2028. So you can understand why the Australians are concerned.
The article reveals a complex web of connections, as we've spoken about, and alleged misconduct, which you went into some detail just earlier. And there are multiple layers of this misconduct, as we've discovered, because your article actually specifically mentions those misconducts, including a Kumul Petroleum employee, as you mentioned, directing a contract to a company owned by Wapu Sonk, who is in fact, as we've mentioned, the CEO of Kumul Petroleum, and awarding another contract to a senior member of staff at Kumul Petroleum, and then using a rental property in Brisbane that is owned by an individual who has recently received contracts from Kumul Petroleum. So coupled with broader concerns about governance, can you break down these different layers of alleged corruption and how they connect?
Again, what seems like has been happening is that there are corporate structures in Australia, companies set up by Wapu Sonk, that have been set up to allow him to make money on the side. To put it in crude terms, it looks like there's alleged kickbacks that are occurring, and these companies are the recipient of those alleged kickbacks. That may be one of the scenarios. What the paperwork shows is that the power that Wapu Sonk has as the boss of Kumul is being potentially used to feed contracts to these companies in Australia that he secretly owns. But the use of the multi-million-dollar property in Brisbane, why is Wapu Sonk, how can you think it's appropriate that he reside in a property owned by an Australian businessman who's seeking to win contracts from Kumul Petroleum in PNG, and which has already won contracts from Kumul Petroleum in PNG? That's a clear conflict of interest. It's a private commercial relationship that raises questions of corruption.
Their money is tied to a project led by someone now facing serious corruption allegations. It took foreign journalists to shine a light on the misuse of power at one of the most critical state-owned enterprises. Meanwhile, PNG leaders, including Prime Minister James Marape, are fumbling for statements and scrambling for damage control. We heard that Wapu Sonk has stepped down from PNG's NRL franchise board after the media report was made. If this is true, then it is no different to a criminal robbing a store. Only there are no guns involved. Only gentlemen's suits and millions of kina slipping away. What if the report was not made? Then the people of Papua New Guinea will have no idea of this high-level corruption. What do you think? Is Mr. Sonk guilty or innocent? Let me know in the comments.